Okay, folks, taking a short pause just for a few seconds here, because I want to thank Walter Hunt for becoming a channel member. I must say it is very much appreciated, and their name will now be included in the scroll at the end of all videos from now on. Okay, told you it'd be short. Now let's get back to it. Okay, folks. Right. Now again, 10 across, 8 down. That's a canvas board. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to draw out very roughly a bit of an idea of what I want. So just some mineral spirits, a little bit of raw umber. Just a bit of an idea. I don't need to be too, have like a bit of a mountain range coming across here. You know, hiding going up into the, hiding in behind the trees and stuff that I'm going to have sitting here. And I want this horizon just above the halfway mark, just along there. And I try and keep it nice and straight. So everything is happening, or everything, a lot of things are happening up and around here. Okay, a little bit of here, a little bit here, just, and let me see now, a little bit of a waterway, just kind of pointing towards this area up here. I'm bringing this down and just, for now. Now you see, that is basically just a little, a little roughly drawn out idea. Right, so I'm going to work on the sky, and I've already got this here, so I'm going to use it. It's nothing big of a deal. Okay, so there's a little bit of the blue, and a little tiny bit of yellow, and I want kind of a bit of a green tinge to this sky. I'm using some liquid fine detail there. Well, let me see, a little bit of red in it, little tiniest bit. Let me see, along here. Get a little bit juicier with the mineral spirits. And probably a little grayer. Yes, a little grayer, a little bit more. Hi folks, just a wee quick announcement. I've started one of those new member thingy-majigs. Bring the grayness. I would really appreciate your support. It helps the channel and it helps me. Just click the wee join button below the video. It's only a couple of quid a month. You know what? Anyway, thanks folks, it's very much appreciated. And now let's get back to it. Range a bit. I think it's a bit low. We'll bring it up to here. Ish. That's a bit better. And then that will redefine where this horizon is, just bringing that up a little touch. Changing it as I go along, folks. That's fine. Lovely jubbly. Yes, okay. No. Just adding a little bit, just to keep interest. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, I'll get myself a bit of a cloth here. I want to wipe out a little bit here just to show in some clouds. You know, a wee pinky cloud, which I shall put in now. A little bit of red, just a little bit. And plenty of liquid fine detail there. I just do those in there like so, and they will just sit there and look like clouds. They already look like clouds, very little done to them. All right, okay, now I'm going to work on this this mountain range here. So let's get myself a nice blue, but a grey blue as well. I don't want it too I don't need it to be too saturated at this point. I can always glaze it a little bit later. Ah, goodness me, goodness me. Got caught in a lot of yellow there, but it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. The yellow will yellow will help grey the violet out a little bit too, so it will. Now you can see that probably a bit more blue, a little bit, just here and there, you know, nothing much. Okay, okay. Now for the main mountain here. Using the sky color here, as you see this sky over here, using it to help inform this mountain along here. A little bit more liquid in it, or a little bit more mineral spirits in it, sorry, just for that viscosity reasons. A bit darker than that maybe. Yeah, a bit grayer than that maybe. Lovely. Right, let me see now. You're just too good to be true. Yeah, a bit brighter. Okay. I'm just taking a little moment to myself. Probably a bit more red in it. A little bit of black in it, just to desaturate it a touch. And then some mineral spirits to loosen the viscosity a touch. Now, I can feel that this is off already, and I'll tell you why. Here's a tip to you. It is a bit brighter than this, but this has a vertical face, like so. So it's going to be one of the darker points in concerning the way the light shines. It's going to have a darker point, and things that lay flat on a horizontal plane will be the lighter points. So this landscape will be brighter than this up in here because it has a vertical. It's the same with the trees. Trees are vertical, so they'll be darker than the horizontal landscape. Now, this here has is a incline or a decline, whichever way you're looking at it. Incline here, decline there. Anyway, so it should be a little bit brighter than this, and it is a little bit, but it's not bright enough. So keep that in mind as well, folks. So I'm just going to brighten this up a touch. Very good, that's more like it. Okay. No, not quite there yet. I'm just thinking now. Okay. Nice grey land along here. Reaching up into this area here. Okay, now. Right, so let's create some light in this cliff edge here. Just along here. And here and little bits here. Like so. Alright, now you seeing that now? Yeah. Okay, so let's get this is just a wee cheap round brush. In fact, I'll use the round brush that I done from a drawing. It's just a round brush. Right, so let's get in some of this in and see where we stand here. Nice sharp edges there. See that? Look. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. And then right at the end here, a bit of light hitting it. Just a bit. Oh, a bit too saturated. And just letting that like so. That's a bit, I'm not happy with that. Yeah, I'll wait till it dries and then I'll fix it up. Okay. Making that reach down into the decline or incline, whichever one you want to call it. Now, what I'm going to do is, right, okay. This is a mess about. I just want to see what this looks like. I will not settle on it. I'm just going to put a little bit of a shadow on it and see what it looks like. Okay, so let's give myself a bit of a shadow here and see if this works. As if the light is hitting it here, you know, and creating, yeah, that works nice, so it does. I do think that this is a bit, you know what, I'm going to leave that, and then I'm going to leave this area and glaze this later. I think this is a bit too dark, this sky. I'm going to have a wee look at lightening it up here so I can see. Now this is the struggle, for the want of a better way. This is the struggle of doing things off the top of your head. You're always balancing here and there, always creating a bit of a balance, but it's also the joy of it. I find anyway, for me it's quite an enjoyable thing, in the sense that just a second. In the sense that you're always playing with shades and tones and shades, you know. I have a bit of an alarm going off here, so I'm going to go in and answer it. Okay. Oh. Okay, now let me just say something here for clarification purposes. Sometimes there seems to be a bit of a misunderstanding. And that is, whenever I say I do this off the top of my head, I'm not imagining it entirely. Of course I'm not. No, what happens is, I sit and look at 100 photographs, sometimes thousands of photographs, and I look at them on Google and Pixabay and wherever. And sometimes, and most of the times, especially today, I will make a load of them up on Mid-Journey and that type of thing. And then I'll sit and whittle it down to 3 or 4 photographs. Mostly, actually, a lot of the times it's 5 and 6 photographs, but anyway, we'll just say 3 or 4. And that's how, and then I'll take it from that. I have an idea from that point of view. That's what I'm trying to say whenever I say I do it from imagination. I have 3 or 4 photographs that I eventually, once I've sat and looked at them for 10 minutes or whatever it is, I put them to the side and then I get up and start painting. And that's basically it. Anyway, right. That's enough of that. Right, so let's see where we are here. I'm gonna get myself just messing around. Now, well. All right, okay. I do want this to be a bit darker and a bit grayer in this area here. Just work it in as it is. Not entirely covering it, just creating the shades of it. Very good, okay. Now, same again with where's my other little brush? This one here will do. I'm just creating a little bit of a shadow on these mountains here. I think it helps, the idea of the shadow really helps sell the idea of the light. No, that's too much, far too dark. Okay, now that's not bad now. Now a little one here, just to sell the idea that these things are jutting out. You see? And then a small one here, as if this isn't a big a big crevice in there. Look at that. Now that really lights that up. That really sells the idea of that there's ridges going along in there. Okay, now enough of my self-congratulations there. Let me see now. I've got a good bit of this part of it done. What I'm going to do is the trees up in here, I'm going to wait, maybe wait until they're somewhat dry, but this is somewhat dry, but I will put the bases of the trees in along here and the bushes and whatnot and what have you. Right, so let me see a nice little brush for me. So a nice red green, so oxide red, some phthalo green, lovely combination. That little bit of black, as I want it a bit dark in here. Now some mixtures, some what do you call it? Liquid fine detail and some white spirits. Now let me just create the idea of where things are going to be. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Okay. I don't know. I might put a little house in here somewhere. I am undecided for that in the time being. Right, just using up what's on the brush. Very nice and very nice. All right, so. Just thinking to myself here, folks. Now, I think that this shadow here isn't quite as dark as I think it should be. Okay, so just kind of try and get that to look natural. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, now let's put the greens in here. Let's put the very grey greens along here. So some raw umber, and I've already got this mixture down here. Some raw umber and some cadmium yellow. Now, it's not kind of picking up. There we go. Now that's actually not too bad. A little tiny bit of red in it, but it needs to be brighter. And let me just see. It needs to be less saturated. So now what desaturates a green? A little bit of red desaturates a green. Okay, a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of black and white because they're also saturation killers. They also can really desaturate something. And blue, a cool blue, it's always a brilliant way to desaturate something. There, now we have ourselves a desaturated green. Now a little bit of mineral spirits and some fine detail. And let's see now. I just put this in, and that's still not grey enough. So I'm going to use this grey here. This big grey patch here. Use a little bit of raw umber as well. Just not grey enough, folks, is all. That's better, that's better. Yes, that's much better. Because we're off in the distance here. There isn't too much saturation in this grass that far away. Now, and of course I'm going to contradict myself. Of course I am. I always have to contradict myself. I'm going to put a little bit of red here, just a bit. A bit of saturation in it, just here, just for, oh, maybe a bit more. Just for a tonal shift, you know? For a tonal shift and a color shift. Isn't that nice now? Isn't it nice? Alright, so let's grey some stuff out here. I think it's just still a bit too saturated for now. I'm just going to continue messing around with this. A little bit of I'm going to use some more of this white spirits going on here. Now I'm only after taking some eye drops there, which I need, and I can't see what I'm doing. Anywho's, that's it. Still trying to play on here. Okay. My eyes are a fair bit blurry. It might help a wee bit, you know. Let me see now. A little bit grey. A little bit of grey. Purposeful grey along here. A little bit brighter. Just okay. No. Just want to soften that in a little bit. I'm not happy with the texture of it. I'll fix it up better whenever it dries. I could wipe it off and just continue, but I'm coming back for a second turn anyway, so I may as well just use that to my advantage. All right, okay. No, 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 no. Right, let's see where we are. Just messing around and getting the background covered. And I want this water to have a bit of a... Just dance this about, folks. A bit of a trajectory of heading towards the house. Not entirely, but, you know, just pointing towards it. That's the plan. Just want your eyes to see, to move with the paint a little bit. Just having it coming up into here. Now, why did I put this on my brush? What was my point? Oh, yes. Right, okay. I'd forgotten there what I was doing. That's a bit too, I'm not too happy with that. I will just work that in a bit. Bit too obvious, bit too cut right across the center. I don't really want that. So I just dull it down a little bit. I'll bring you to up till about to here. All right. Now, where's me brush? There it is. So let's get myself a bit of a path here, and then I'll turn it into water. Just as if it's heading up into here, and then we'll move it into water. Okay. Very good. It probably would be best if I used a cleaner brush. Oh, this one here will do. This one here. I didn't see this sitting here, so... This one will do. This one will do. Nice blue. Nice dark blue. A nice cool blue here. I'm staying away purposefully from these. I still can't see. I'm staying away purposely from these edges for now. I don't want to get it too muddied quite just yet. I'll muddy it up myself a little bit later. Okay. It's lovely because it's lovely. Yes. A bit darker, a bit darker. Just, I can always lighten it. Let's just wipe some of that off. Okay, and back to this again. Now, I'm going to go into it, start muddying it up a bit. Like so. Start working it through the grasses and the what have yous. Okay. Get in there, folks. Get in there. And all of this, remember folks, it's just a background painting, but it's nice. You want to, now most of it won't be a background painting. You'll be coming to the point of nearly finishing it. And the reason that you're going to let it become, or come back again, have another go at it, is just to put a little bit of detail in it. Put a little bit of nuance in it, and now I can hear myself talking nonsense, so it'll do. Look at that. It works out well, so it does. Now, just a bit of a, just for variance is all I'm doing here. Not entirely covering that, just creating a bit of variance. Now, right, so, and let's work on the other areas here. Where's my brushes? Where is the ones I want? Where's the ones that I want? Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. That one there will do. No beat up brush. I'm after some beat up stuff here. Purposefully working this in, beating the brush down like that in order to spread the bristles, so that I can now do this and make it look like grasses. See, and then just boom, 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 boom. That's nice. And a little bit on the other side, but not quite so dark. You know, not quite so dark. Just rolling that about. Now, of course, I'm going to add in some. I'm going to soften the edges a bit. That's what I'm trying to say. Just soften this a little touch. Going all in the same direction. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Now a little twist here and a little twist there. And the same here, just over here. All in the same direction with a wee twist here and a wee twist there. You can give yourself some variance there, you know, might as well. Right, so let's see now. Almost finished with the back painting here, with the under painting. Which I'll just be coming back whenever it's dry. But before I do, I'm just going to get myself a little bit of a tree in the background here. Now, a bit grayer than that, but too much red on it. So some more raw umber in it. Let's see. Right, taking a lot off that brush. I just want to scrape this thing on for the time being. Bum, ba, da, bum, bum, bum. These are just background trees. Very nice. Okay. Now, just continue on with this along here. It's a bit too. That's a bit too saturated. So just knock the saturation out of it with what's on the palette there. That's all. I'm just knocking the saturation out of it. Okay, now what do I think of this at the minute? Not much, but I'm getting there. Oops, a daisy. Too much. You just scrape on some texture. That's all I'm doing here. Let's finish up the background thing here. Background mountain. Okay. Too much. Let me see. No, too much. It is not anywhere actually where I want it to be. So let's just start over here, and that's a bit better. Yes. Now, is that too bright? It is too bright. Too bright for what I wanted. That's better. I think that's a bit better. I'm enjoying this one a bit more. So I am. Yes, that's a bit better. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sharpen this edge a little touch. Just along here. Make you know that this is an actual mountain here. It's just softening as it goes along. Softening the edge there. See that now? That's a bit better. Now just, again, just for a wee ridge here and there. This is off in the distance, so you're not, it's too much, far too much. It's off in the distance, so you're not going to be seeing much here. But just the tiniest shift in tone, folks, will show you that this is a continuation of this, only further on back. You see? Look at that. Oh, it's lovely. It's all right, isn't it? It's lovely. Right, now. No. I think I'm going to lay in, while I'm here, lay in some of the trees here. A little bit of heat in them. There's a little bit of light hitting it. So let me just see here. No. Not grey enough. Too much on the brush now. It was just too saturated there, and that's what I'm trying to say. Just scraping this boyo on here. Get ourselves a nice bit of a tree heading in here. There we go. Keeping things going in certain directions. That's another hint for you, folks. Whenever you want a tree to go in, or whenever you want anything to go in the direction, make your paintbrush go in that direction. So if you want something to come down, pull your paintbrush down. You want it to go across, pull it across, and so on and so on. Go in the direction that you're after. Alright, okay. Now, I think one of my main problems is that some areas are just not dark enough Yeah, grey enough, that's a bit better, yeah. Now, I see, the thing that I'm doing here now, folks, is I am directly blending on the canvas. And I don't know any other way to say how to do this other than this one just takes practice. And it is very similar to blending it on the palette, but you have your surrounding things going on, which helps inform you a bit better. I quite often prefer doing it on the canvas. Yeah, doing it on the canvas. Okay. Right, now, for now, how do I feel about this? How do I feel? Do I want to... I think what I need to do actually is, if I can find the brush, is just soften the edges of some of the areas here. Along here. All the parts of it can be glazed whenever it's dried. The darker areas I can glaze them. Whenever it is dried. Now, I have you know what? I think I'm going to put a wee house in this. I think a wee house just sits there nicely, so it does. Yes, let me just, and what, I'm going to put on a silver roof, a silver-ish roof on it. And I will just see what this looks like. I'm not even going to wipe an area out for it. It's going to head in between and behind here, so it's going to be coming along here. Nice and sharp. And I think I'm actually going to, I'm going to darken that a bit, and then I'll come along and lighten it whenever it has dried. Now, I really want it to be kind of just about noticeable and no more. But I definitely need to sharpen these edges, and I will do. So, decisions now. What do I make the base of the house with? Just a little bit of this. Okay. Just a little bit of a soft brush, just to knock that back a little bit. What I do think, for sure, is it definitely needs a bit of a darker tint there over the eaves there. And what I'm also sure of is that it doesn't need to be that dark. Or no, sorry, it doesn't need to be. Nah, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. So just ignore me. Now, there is something, folks, that you really can be aware of. Is that if you're not happy with this, which at the minute, this house idea was just off the top of my head, and at the minute I'm not too happy with it. So, I might just scrap it. But what I'll do is I'll wait till it dries, and then I will see. I'm going to make the roof a bit darker. Then I'll see what I want to do with it. I think I've given myself an unnecessary job here, but still, a nice wee house. It does tell a story, so it does. But what has happened here is that it's, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. This was a bit of an accident here. What has happened here is it has meld. It has went into the background. So it has. And I can then highlight that roof. To bring it out. Oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea. As I say, that was a happy little accident, as our friend Bob Ross would say. Word tray was a happy little accident. Now I just need to allow for that overhang. I've widened it a little bit here, and I'm just going to allow for it. Just here. Now I'm just going to mess up a little bit of it here, and this is purely for just to get it to be hidden in behind these trees here. That's all this is. Purely just to hide it. And then the same, a little bit, the same on this side. Right, okay, I'm not happy with it, folks. It's too big, it's too everything, so it is. But no, it's too eye-catching. I am not happy with it. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it dry. Okay, I'm just going to kind of just still keep it a little bit there, and as if that's pretending that's as if it's all part of the plan. You know, it's fully intended to do it this way. That type of thing, you know. It can hide in here, so it can. And if I want to make it a little bit more apparent, I'll do that. But I'll let it dry first before I make any real decisions. There, now there's something hidden in there. You can see that, and maybe I will. Maybe I will keep it. Well, we'll see. For now, let me just, yeah. Okay. Right, folks. That'll do for the time being. I'm just going to go and have a wee seat And I'll see what this is like when it has dried up a bit. So, see you soon. Bye for now. Please like and subscribe, by the way. Please like and subscribe, by the way. Thank you, thank you. Oh, and I've started a new members thing. If you wanted to join that, I don't know if it's up yet, what time this is up, but I've started it anyway, and hopefully, well, we start a new members thing. So, all the best. Bye for now. Okay, folks, now back to this one. All I'm going to do in this one here, just going to add in a little bit of detail and then call this one a day. Still want to fix up this area around here and put in the trees and just put in some details. Okay, so let's begin to do this. So I think what I will use is a little bit of liquid today, and it'll help me with the scumbling and all the thingamajigs. Not too much, just need a little bit out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glaze and scumble things on today. Well, let's see, just a little bit of a greenish dark here is what I'm after. Just to lay in some darker patches, darker areas. There we go. Just some divots, just to add a little bit of interest. And now, let's add the cooler areas up in the. I think I'll go up in here for the moment. Nice and grey, right? Because we're off in the distance, and saturation back there is. Oh, that's close. So it is. It's pretty close. Alright, I don't want much on the brush. Just take a good bit off. Okay. Now, I think that even that is a bit too saturated. So I'm going to grey it out a little bit more. And I'm just going to use raw umber to do it. A little bit of blue as well. And that's cerulean blue. Excuse me. Just trying to create the impression of the light hitting this thing away in the distance. Look at that. Yes. That's okay now, so it is. I'm happy enough with that. Let's pick a bit of a slightly darker blue here, and still the grey though. Still on the grey. Because we're still off in the distance here, and just trying to create some interest here. And that makes that pop, at least to my eye it does. It makes that pop a good bit, I think. Okay, I'm just still messing around. You see that now? I'm adding I'm adding areas of interest, little crevices here and there. Okay, right. So I think I'll work on this house here for the momento. Now, I still am in two minds of whether to keep it or not. I don't want it to be too distracting. And my mind is keep it or not. We'll see. What I will do is I'll lighten it a little bit. And see where we is. I've taken a good bit off the brush here. What I've done is I've added a little bit of titanium white and some oxide red, and then a lot of, excuse me a second. And back to that. A lot of titanium white, oxide red. Oh, don't know, my voice is it's breaking, so it is. Anyway, here we are. And I want this to be relatively light, and I had too much on the brush. I kind of more just want the scumbled on. Just the idea of it first. Okay. I'm not sure if this house is working or not. I don't know if it's whether I'm doing a not so good a job or whether the composition doesn't suit, you know. We'll see. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. I'm gonna go for a grey slate here for the roof. What I have done is that I have made it the exact same color and the exact same tone. So that's not what I'm after. Okay. Well, it's certainly looking like it, so it is. I just want some shade in here. Let's see. Get a nice sharpish shade going along here under the eaves. Just to get that real contrast of light. Okay. Oh, okay. No, that's not so bad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of a dry brush just to pull it down a bit into the building. Okay, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. Right, now, happier with that, I must say. Happier. Right, so let's get some of the tree trunks in here, and let's see where we are first of all. A little bit of oxide red, making up a nice light greenish or greyish here, just to begin with. Let's see. Oh, too broad for my purposes. Just take that off. Okay, a bit of a steadier hand now. Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. Do another one here. over here. Or two. Now, all I'm going to do is just a little touch, a little dab, just to knock it back a bit. It's still keeping it on it, but I'm just knocking it into it a little touch. Now, some darker ones. A little bit of raw umber mixed in with the already grey mixture that I have here. Now, this may not be dark enough. But it's fine. A little bit of mineral spirits there just to loosen the viscosity of it a touch. Okay. I'm not entirely happy with that house. I was, and then I'm not. What to do, what to do, what to do. Let's see. Yeah, not overly enthused by it. But I think I'm okay with it as at the same time. I'm all right, you know. One of those ones where, yeah, you know, I'm not sure that I want to remove it. It'd be easy to remove. I just put in another tree. That's not the problem. The problem is that I'm not sure if it's working or not. Now what I've done there is just slightly change the color and the tone a little bit, made it a little bit, just a smidgen darker. Yeah, a bit more rusty. Okay, all right. At the minute, that's better. I'm happier with that one now. So I was happier with the other one too, if you remember, just 10 seconds ago. Let me see here. Just laying down some. Just laying down some trees here. Or the edges of the trees, I'll say. Alright, just creating the shapes within these trees here. I think I will intrude a little bit into the building here. Over here. As if like the whole thing is overgrowing, you know. That's not bad. And the same on this side too. Now just making it, trying to get it, the impression that it's huddled into it. Now, yes, I'm almost done with this one. Just a few details. That's not bad. That's an improvement. Now the water. Is it dark enough? I think it's fine. But I will tone it a little bit, so I will just a little bit of blue on it. This will be a bit of a glaze. And we'll... I'm going to take a... What I done there was add a little bit of cerulean and a little bit of ultramarine, and this is more of a glaze than anything else. So it's just a slight toning of what I have done, and I will most likely come along and wipe the guts of it off, still leaving a trace amount behind. It's a bit of a tone. Yeah, that's not bad now. So it's not now a little bit darker. And the same idea. Just a tone shift in it. Happy enough with that. That's good. And a bit brighter. And I think what I'll do, just for the hell of it, I'll put in a little post here and there. Why not, you know? Get myself a little brush here and a little straight edge. Now, where is my straight edges? Where are they? Where did they go? Bada boom, bada bing, bada 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 boom. Oh, here we go. Now I'm putting the whites down first because it's already on the brush. Simple as that. There's no real reason here why I'm putting the whites down first. I just have it on the brush. Simple as. Little straight edge. All that is a wee palette knife. There. Allows me to put down nice straight edges. As we're going further away, things get smaller. Gives you the sense of perspective there. I'm not going to add in too much. I'll do another one over here. I want to be roughly the same size, as it were. A little bit bigger here. Okay, now I'll put the dark part of it in. All I'm doing here is cleaning this brush off. Okay, I've got the darks on it now. So. That too dark? I think it might be, you know, just a touch too dark. Will do. It's nice enough now. There we go. There we go. There we go. Again, just knock it back a little tiny bit. Just add a... I wiped that one off by accident. That's okay. And I think that I'm going to be done with this one, folks. Just having a little look-see to see. I think I'll maybe add a little bit more texture in the grasses here. Just a little touch. A little bit of a grey or green here and there. Okay, let me see. Yeah, it's just adding some texture there. Now, how do I feel about this? I think that's okay. I think that's nice. The light on here is good over at these mountains. That kind of gives you that thundery storms on its way light. You know, it's kind of a subdued, filtered light because of the clouds. Okay, right, folks, that's enough. So, thanks for watching, and if you could please like and subscribe. And I've started up one of those little member channels too, if you wouldn't mind. If you feel like it, please join and help support me and all of that. And I'll see you in the next one. So bye for now.